Hey guys, Magme here, and today we're back with another brand new video and another brand new Injustice 2 topic video. Now I'm making this video after the results from the last video and that poll. So here we are, we're going to be talking about all the dead characters that have returned and everything explained with dead characters in Injustice 2. And first off, I want to tell you that the comics are canon, they're in the continuity, although we do have some like minor things that happen, like Chapter 1. Oh boys, Chapter 1, one big mess, alright. In fact, I did an entire video explaining all the retcons that were made. And yeah, if you want to check out the video, that car's right, that's a pretty enjoyable video. So if you want more on me talking about Chapter 1, make sure you watch that video right there. But pretty much, Chapter 1, what happens is, it's very different to what happens in Year 1 with the Arkham Asylum attempt and break-in, where Batman and Damian Wayne go there instead of, Nightwing and Batman going in there. And a few things are different. Like, for example, Zsasz dies in Chapter 1. Now, Zsasz does die in the comics, but he dies in Year 5. And again, he's still killed by Damian, but Zsasz actually kills Alfred in Year 5. So if, Zsasz is killed in, Year 1 here, then I guess theoretically that means Alfred could still be alive. So that's confusing. Although, this is my theory on how this could work is, as we know, Bruce Wayne is telling this whole story to the court, so what you could say is, this is Bruce Wayne telling a version of the story. He doesn't want the public to know every little detail, They don't need to know everything, they just need to know the basics. So Bruce Wayne could be hiding out a few details about, Dick Grayson's death, because Dick is meant to die here, but we don't see him, so theory is he could have died in the Metropolis explosion. Maybe he was doing something there. So, that's a theory that could fix that up, because the comics are, indeed, very canon, because we see a bunch of mentions. Like, first of all, we see a bunch of mentions to the comics in the dialogue in the game when you're fighting someone, and we also saw it in, like, when Batman and Superman are talking to each other, and they're talking about how they had that one moment where, Batman could tell that Superman was, gonna have a baby with Lois, because, all of that stuff, and Superman's just like, shut up, how did you know? So, that's mentioned in the Injustice 2 story mode at the end. So again, some moments from the comics are mentioned in Injustice 2, which again makes the comics very much canon, although you have a few things like Chapter 1, but I did come up with a theory which could explain it. But anyway, that's Chapter 1 dealt with. If you want to know more about Chapter 1, then make sure you watch the video. But anyway, I'm going to be talking about all the DLC and premiere skins and how they are not canon. So how we got premiere skins for Jon Stewart and, Power Girl. Those are not canon because Jon Stewart is dead in the Injustice universe. He died in Year 3 or Year 2. So Jon Stewart was dead. The Green Lantern Corps just pretty much destroyed. Everything's gone. Even Mogo, the Living Planet, is dead. So premiere skins are not canon, and neither are DLC like Red Hood and Starfire. Like, Starfire is still in the Phantom Zone according to the comics. So everything that happens in the DLC is non-canon, and Jason Todd, who is Red Hood, of course, in the DLC, has already come out. He is, there's really not been any mention of him apart from two small references, which is in the Injustice 2 comic in Issue 1, and in the Injustice 2 Chapter 1, where Damian mentions how, Bruce has let everyone down and how a bunch of people are dead. Like, he couldn't save, like, Lois, or he couldn't save, Dick, and he couldn't save Jason.
I never meant to.
You coward. We are at war with these animals. You think you're better than him? You let the Joker keep on killing. You couldn't save Lois, or Jason, or anyone! That's enough.
So, again, Jason Todd. So we definitely know that death in the family happened in this universe, but we don't know if Under the Red Hood storyline happened in this Injustice universe. So we have no idea about that, but, Red Hood, like, his, appearance as DLC is completely just, is not canon unless they, confirm it in the comics or whatever. So for now, Red Hood's non-canon, although Jason Todd very much existed in the universe and he was actually killed by the Joker, as we've seen in Injustice 2 Issue 1, when the Joker has the crowbar. So yeah, we don't know if Red Hood's officially become a thing yet, if he's ever going to be introduced in the story. So right now, every DLC, premiere skins, they're all just non-canon. And yeah, that's pretty much all that explains. So now we're going to be explaining all the dead characters. That's like, well, how are they in Injustice 2? If you're not really, like, catching up on, if you don't really know the details of the Injustice comics, you've heard that they're dead, and like, how are they back? So, first one is going to be Scarecrow. Now, how is Scarecrow back in Injustice? Because, if you like, in Injustice Year 1, Issue 2, I think, yeah, it's definitely Issue 2, Scarecrow, we see him, and he seems to be dead, because we have all the Joker, gas on him, and he makes this permanent grin, and we all think he's dead, like, everybody thinks he's dead. But then we see him have a short appearance in one of the later years, like Year 4 or Year 5. It was a very small appearance, only in one panel. And he looks very different, his face is, like, pretty disfigured. So we saw Scarecrow appear there, and we saw him in Injustice 2 story mode. So my explanation for this is that he was pretty much comatose through the, the Joker toxins, because the Joker toxins are pretty, strong. They kill most people, but here didn't kill Jonathan Crane, who's Scarecrow. Instead, it must have put him in some kind of coma, and that's why he wasn't really present throughout most of the Injustice storyline, because he was in a coma in Arkham Asylum. So he wasn't in the Injustice 1 story mode, but Injustice 2, maybe like near it around the Injustice 2, storyline, where, around the Injustice 2 comics and the story mode of the Injustice 2 game. Scarecrow must have gone out of that coma, and then he's back in business selling the fear toxins. So yeah, pretty much that's how I can explain it. It makes sense, and yeah, I think that might actually be the way, since we did see Scarecrow seemingly be dead, but then he returned to the Injustice comic for one panel, and now he's in the Injustice 2 story mode. So that's my explanation for that. And the next one is going to be pretty easy compared to someone like, Scarecrow, who's like, whoa, a little confused, and do some research there. But Joker is very easy. So as you know, Joker died in Year 1. He was like one of the first deaths alongside, supposedly Scarecrow, but definitely Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen. And, Joker pretty much made Superman kill Lois Lane in space. And, his entire city, Metropolis, was gone, because when he killed Lois' heart had like a, like a bomb thing. So when her heart, stopped beating, then the bomb would go off in Metropolis, and everybody died in Metropolis. So, even see like, Wally West and Beast Boy, they died in Metropolis, which was very, very bad. So Superman was just rage, there's a bunch of rage, and nobody could stop Superman because he's practically like invincible, he's like a god in the Injustice universe, why is the first one's called Injustice, Gods Among Us. So pretty much nobody could stop Superman, as he was in fully just like anger and grieving. So he decided he's going to take out the Joker. And we see it in the Injustice 1, beginning story mode, where he's almost like, no, I'm not going to kill him. But then the Joker, he talks more about how he's losing his family, and that just like gets him out there. And I cannot blame Superman for doing what he did, but that's what happens, is Superman takes the Joker's life and murders him. And just like, what? So, pretty insane. Now, how is the Joker back in Injustice 2? Well, this is very easy to explain. He's just a hallucination from Harley Quinn, from Scarecrow. So, thank goodness for that, because we didn't need Joker in the game, Joker should have just stayed dead, and yeah, that's it. So he's just dead. That's good. Bringing him as a hallucination, not sure if they should have done that, but whatever. He's in the game. That's how he's explained to be returning. So, I don't have a big problem with that. That's just how he's returned into the game. Now, next characters up is going to be Black Canary. Now, Black Canary was actually in a fight with Superman in the Injustice comic, and Superman supposedly killed Black Canary by, like, shooting her with his, like, the laser eyes, and pretty much who she was like, everybody thought that she was dead, because Superman announced it on TV that Black Canary, Dinah Lance, is dead, and everybody thought Black Canary was dead, including Batman. But then Dr. Fate, Kent Nelson, came up, and pretty much she said, fuck Fate, and decided to save Black Canary. And yeah, that's how Black Canary was saved. Now, Black Canary was brought to a different Earth with a different Oliver Queen, because Oliver Queen in the Injustice Earth, or the Injustice Universe, is killed by Superman when, Oliver Queen accidentally, shoots Superman, and it ricochets off of, like, one of the Kents, Park Kent, and Superman just is full of rage again, and he beats Oliver Queen to a bloody pulp. His face is mashed potatoes at the end, and he is dead. That was, like, that's when, like, everybody, that's when I felt that Superman was taking this way too far, because Superman, he wasn't just killing criminals, he was killing anyone who opposed him, and, Oliver Queen was opposing him, so he was dead, and it was a very tragic event, and Black Canary was not the same after that event happened.
I still can't believe he lost it this bad, even with what Joker did.
In Superman's mind, he destroyed Metropolis.
I'm not following.
Somehow Joker altered Superman's mind, so he believed he was fighting Doomsday. But it was Lois.
No.
Joker linked the nuke's trigger to Lois's heartbeat. When she and the baby died, Metropolis died with them.
Superman was vulnerable. Probably for the first time in his life.
His fear won out.
Green Arrow died trying to explain that to him.
Alright, moving on.
So, Dr. Fate decided he's going to move Black Canary, who has no Oliver Queen, to a different Earth, where Oliver Queen doesn't have a Dinah Lance. And, there's actually, Black Canary actually is pregnant and has Connor. So, they decided to raise, Connor together. And pretty much they're happy now. So, that's how Oliver Queen gets brought into the Injustice 2 story mode, is that Oliver Queen actually, like, Batman's going to need help. So then Oliver Queen and Black Canary who's from the Injustice Earth, and Green Arrow, who's from a different Earth, get brought into the, Injustice universe to help out some problems. So that's how it's all explained. So yeah, that's, pretty complicated for multiverses, because DC, so, but now I've helped you wrap your head around it. And yeah, Black Canary, like, before this, she was, like, seen, of course, in the Injustice 1 comics, but she was also seen in the Injustice 1 story mode as a photograph.
What do you think, pretty bird? Perfect as always?
Again, that's how they explain. Now, surely I'm going to mention Swamp Thing, who wasn't dead in the comics, but was in Trigon's Hell. So, Trigon's chamber thing. So that's pretty much Hell. And Dr. Fate, he's in this Injustice 2 story mode now. Yeah, I don't think he necessarily gets killed in the game, but he just gets, like, put into the void. And, anything can happen with any DC character. Dr. Fate could be brought back in a sequel, because he's not necessarily dead. He's just, like, he gets this big, like, thing, like, tentacle, I guess, just, through his chest, and then gets put into the void. So, I guess you could say that the void is keeping him alive, so he could be brought back alive in anything after the Injustice 2 story mode. So, that's how Dr. Fate could potentially come back, just like how Scarecrow, we all thought he was dead, but then he was brought back. So that's how you can explain Dr. Fate. And Swamp Thing, pretty much how Swamp Thing works is, if there's any green on the planet, even just one, leaf, Swamp Thing's always going to be there, because he's protector of the green. It's his duty. So that's how Swamp Thing can be explained in Appearing Injustice 2. But pretty much, that is everything to know about all these dead characters explained. So hopefully I helped you guys, understand all this, confusing multiverse stuff, different continuities and all that. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and share, and if you come across the channel for the first time, why not subscribe, as I make comic related videos almost every day. But anyway, that's been Magma Infinity signing out. Peace.